Hey everyone, Saz here again from Meeples and Dragons. Welcome to the last game of Jasper's Game Week Aussie Edition 2022, raising money for Jasper's Game Day and Beyond Blue. We have a giveaway this game that is courtesy of the wonderful team at Luton Forge. It is a hardwood dice keepers. You're going to want to keep your eyes out towards the end of the game for that one, as well as all the other giveaways in chat. That'll be happening as the donation bar fills up that little bit more. We're still doing all the giveaways every $250 that's added to the donation bar. So the next one is at $7,500. That's not far off at all. Don't forget to get on the Tiltify and check out all the ways you can donate to influence the game. Now that we've covered all of that fun stuff, I'm going to go and hand you over to your delightful dungeon master for this game, AJ Winters.
Hello and welcome to the final game of Jasper's Game Week Aussie Edition, an incredible charity stream raising funds for mental health awareness and suicide prevention. We've reached $7,428.69, which is freaking incredible. But with 3 hours left, I know that we can keep it up and really make a difference. So I'm embracing complete chaos tonight. My name is AJ Winters from Winters Tales. I'm a content creator and DM from Perth, Western Australia, and it is an absolute honor to be here. So because this is the final game, I have planned for something a little different. And that's why you guys get to alter, hinder, help, and confuse our players and our story as we go. But before we get to that, let's introduce our players, starting with Nikolai. Who are you? Where can we find you? And who are you playing tonight?
Hey, I'm Nikolai. You can occasionally find me over on Winter's Tales, where I'm a guest player. But tonight I'm going to be playing Bartholomew, an elderly goblin who's seeking to complete his era-correct power armor.
Wonderful. Greg from Dice Paper Roll.
Hello, yes, I am Greg Pickering. I'm from the podcast Dice Paper Roll, and today I am playing Alan, Aaron Aeon. He's an ASMR sorcerer of Helm. He has long, luscious, golden blonde locks. He's very handsome and wears a long robe and not much else.
That is going to be interesting the further we get into this. Andrea, how are you?
Oh, hello. My name is Andrea, and you can also find me over at Winter's Tales as a player. So I'll be playing Nook, otherwise known as Nook and Cranny, today. She's a half-elf rogue, and she's a bit of a klepto. And you can also find me over on Instagram at and.ria.may if you would like to follow me. Thanks.
Awesome. Clint, how are you?
I'm great, AJ. Hello, I'm Clint. I'm the community manager for Ardent Roleplay. Been one of the producers behind the scenes this whole week. It's been an amazing week. We create 3D augmented reality models for tabletop role-playing games, like we've all been playing. If you're interested in any of that, check out all the information below, message me, and I'm happy to help you out. I'm playing Dratsab Eltil. He is a tiny little goblin cleric of Bane.
We love it. Doug.
Hi, I'm Doug from Nobody Wakes the Bugbear from Perth. I will be playing young Nobby Nobs, a goblin thief swashbuckler.
Nice. And last but certainly not least, and I believe the third game he's playing today, Chris.
Oh, I'm Chris. Hello, everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure being conscious for most of this. And if I do pass out throughout it, AJ will just replace me with a chicken. So I'm very much looking forward to this. I will be playing, looking at character sheets in my peripheral vision, a goblin called Bubbles, who is a monk of the Astral Way, hence the background and clothing, honest, governor. Back to you, AJ. Thank you.
Thank you for the pass on, like we're in a newsreader. Love it. Very fitting for tonight's episode. And also the cloak/coat is fabulous. I'm loving it. Yes, that is correct. This is an almost Oops All Goblin game, but we have a few more surprises for you too. But firstly, I wanted to mention that we have a sponsor tonight and a giveaway of an incredible dice keeper from Wooten Forge. Wooten Forge make incredible tabletop accessories and dice boxes, and you could win one of these, the one that Nikolai is holding out right now at the end of this game. So stick around, enjoy the 3 hours of madness, and hopefully you can win a stylish little dice box to go with this incredible week. So, shall we get into it?
Let's go.
The record button is pressed in the back room of an isolated office. A slender tiefling looks directly down the barrel of the crank-up camera. Welcome to Behind the Demiplane Wars. My name is Sierra, and today we'll go undercover in the infamous and suspected corrupt business of Mr. Emerson Cracker. Mr. Cracker made his millions by purchasing almost every demiplane and pocket dimension accessible and renting them out to the masses. Adventurers and everyday citizens rented spaces from him, every bag of holding, every pocket space for familiars, all owned by Mr. Cracker. But when people are unable to make their payments or adventurers are mysteriously lost or killed on their adventures, what happens to their possessions? Today we go undercover, posing as a fake reality TV show called Demiplane Wars, where the cleanup crews dive into the demiplanes and clear out, appraise, and sell possessions stored in these spaces. We're ready to uncover the corruption and really see what these workers do with your things. We hard cut to the office of Mr. Cracker himself. 2 leather couches have been squeezed into this tiny dark room to face the boss. He himself sits patiently as we zoom in on his face. The lower thirds pop up saying, Mr. Emerson Cracker, CEO of Cracker Safes. Someone flags him behind the camera and he begins to address you all. This is my top team. Thank you for being here. We've got a really good space for you today. We're expecting some great things. This is going to be different than usual, as several teams are going to be entering at the same time. But I trust you to uphold the Cracker safe way and clear out professionally. The owners of this particular demiplane have lost their lives, so be respectful and be careful of the dangers that may lurk in there. For some of you, you can hear the loose threat weaved into his monotone voice. We cut to camera 2, a close-up of the first team member revealed on the couch, the lower thirds reading, Bubbles, First Defense. Chris, please introduce your character. What do we see?
You see someone that is fashion-forward, and by forward, it's probably in a different dimension forward. It seems to be confused. It's almost like as he's gone round each of these storage units, he's taken whatever's taking his fancy and been shoving items into it. He has gone for the kind of rocker look and failed several times. He does have goggles on, which I don't sadly have because I would blind myself at this point in time, but he has these goggles on and he has ridiculously tight shorts, not pants, but shorts that he wears, and big sandals with studs on it to get the grip that runs round. He seems to be slightly green, slightly furtive, but ready for a conversation.
Perfect. The boss takes a one look at you. Bubbles, I suspect that you're going to be the first line of defense if anything crazy pops up in this place, so keep your eyes sharp.
Sure thing, boss.
The camera 3 zooms to another crew member, Alan. Full name, because I can't pronounce it.
Sorry, boss. It's pronounced Alan. Yeah, I know.
Alan.
Yeah, common mistake. It's fine.
The lower thirds read Alan with pronunciation in brackets. Underneath reading team leader. Greg, what does Alan look like?
Well, Alan is he's 6'2". He's tall. He's very, very thin. Long, luscious blonde locks that sort of shine. And as he notices the camera, he gives the hair a little toss and cracks a grin. And the first thing that stands out of that his two front teeth have been replaced with the gold grill, and the light just ding, just glints off that grill. He's got a long, quite simple brown robe, which is tied with a rope around his waist. He's a very simple ASMR of Helm, a divine soul sorcerer. And as he sits down in front of the camera, the robe falls open, really just a little bit too much of a long, very skinny, very hairy, knobbly leg with a knobbly knee.
Perfect. You see the camera almost adjust itself immediately, trying not to get a crotch shot. And,
my eyes are up here.
Decides to move the camera along very rapidly to take a closer look at Nook and Cranny, underneath saying lead appraiser. Andrea, please describe your character for us.
So when you look at Nook is desperately trying hard to look as mysterious as possible because she thinks she's had a really dark past. She wears a purple hood that she's failing to drag over her two space buns that she has right here. One's just sort of like tipping over one and then the other. So she's trying to make herself look as mysterious as possible. She keeps her hands inside her cloak. And on her hands, though, when she does reach them out occasionally in order to steal stuff, but no one knows that, they're covered in black gloves. She never likes to leave fingerprints behind or anything like that. And she just sits and just tries to look as mysterious, but really she's delirious because she's not really quite sure what she's doing, but she's just there vibing.
We love that. We love that. Next, the camera cuts over to the second couch, which is revealing 3 goblins who have too much space on this couch to themselves. The lower thirds reading Nobby, Dratsab, and Bartholomew, the cleanup crew. Doug, let's start with you. What does Nobby look like?
Nobby is the most stereotypical goblin you can see. Sort of muscular, but in the wrong kind of way, with a sporty mohawk right up through the back and a rather short, sharp-looking blade on his hip. He's just kind of not very pretty, a sort of longish nose that there's snot dribbling off of it.
Brilliant, brilliant. How about Dratsab, Clint? What are we looking at? Oh, you're muted.
Hi, I'm a cleric of Bane. I inherited this job from my older brother, Gib. Unfortunately, he took a portable hole into a pocket dimension and blew himself up, which was really sad, but that's okay. Now I've got the job, and I'm glad to be the middle part of this this cleanup crew. Thank you.
And what does Dratsab look like? Just a regular goblin?
He's a short goblin, but he's tinged with blue. He's a cleric of the Twilight Domain, and he's got a big shield, and we've got a holy symbol on the shield that's a big hand like that.
Brilliant. Upon mentioning that you're the person who gave you the job died in a pocket dimension, the camera quickly cuts back to the boss, who unflinchingly just nods. Yes, that was not with us, but it does happen. So we are vigilant, hence why I've sent my best team into the space. Lastly, we have, rounding out the cleanup crew, Bartholomew.
Bartholomew is a very diminutive, small, grey goblin man with big, bushy eyebrows, but very well dressed. He's got like a waistcoat and like pinstripe trousers. He's got like 5 pocket watches attached to his waistcoat, each set to a different dimensional plane. But most noticeably, he's got sort of like an exoskeleton power armor on. which adds like a fair bit of height to him. So even though he's small, he like can meet eye to most people.
Nice.
Although he does move to the camera. I just want to say that I'm new here. The amount of training that we've been given was a 5-minute video to not walk off edges.
The camera goes once again to the boss. Yep, that's our standard training. But most of these people are professional and know how to clear out the demiplanes.
Wait, there was a video?
It was a blink and you miss it kind of moment.
Oh,
I don't remember no video.
wait, maybe I missed that part. Edges, you say? Stay away from them or stay close to them? I'm already confused.
Stay away. Definitely stay away.
Okay.
You see the crew behind the cameras look very excited already. There seems to be some notes being scribbled down by the producer of, is this more corrupt than we thought this would be? You see a lot of the camera angles starting to zoom in on the conversation having between Alan and Bartholomew, picking up on some context of these people may not be trained at all to do what they're about to do. So it cuts to black immediately. The boss may have signaled for things to move on. And a single line of text pops up. The following footage may be incredibly disturbing. Please use viewer discretion. Now, before we get into it, there is a short snippet of audio overlaid over this black screen. So I have a little challenge for the players. I'd like you to each give a line of dialogue as a semi-premonition for how this adventure is going to turn out. Something like, my eyes! I've lost my eyes! We'll go down the line, starting with Nikolai, following how it looks on the stream, if you can, or if you know what that looks like. Otherwise, I'll say. So Nikolai, Andrea, Greg, DeeTwenty, then Clint, then Doug.
Mm-hmm.
One by one, rapid fire, one line of dialogue. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Nikolai, start us off.
I told him not to go near the edges.
I take what's given and I take what's not given. And that's how it's going to be.
Is it stay close to the edges or stay away from the edges?
I'm sure it's an elephant.
You muted again.
Those guys are fucked.
I know they said not to touch it, but it looks so shiny.
Brilliant. Brilliant. The screen fades to black once more. Players, please remember what you have said because you're each going to have to find a way to make that reality. And chat, you're going to help us. Now, from here on out, the story is practically yours, audience. You can donate to give inspiration, snap 20s, disadvantages, throw-in monsters, random NPCs, and wild magic surges. So whatever happens from here on out is up to you. After a brief bit of static, the crank camera is once again up and running. The 6 members of the cleanup crew now stand in front of an iron door. Mr. Cracker begins to unlock it. Alan, you have the comms coin, so when and if you need to come back, just flip it to heads.
Right. Does anybody have a pocket? No,
I've got a nostril.
It's all right. I'll pop it in Nature's pocket.
Oh, very good.
As the team leader, you hold the comms coin. It is an emerald color from years of use, and there is clearly a head of a goat on one side and the tail of a dragon on the other. The iron door is opened, the camera is pulling back to reveal the darkened entrance as you all begin to step through the veil, followed by a complete camera crew, the producer Ciara, and a timid-looking assistant. There is a strange sensation as you almost fall down to a surface of some kind, mildly squishy, like dirt, Your eyes adjust to the semi-darkness. The sky here is milky black, with no sun, no moon, and no stars. It's eerie, but light seems to emit from different parts of the floor and the distant mountains. But as you start to look around, you realize they aren't mountains, but rather small piles of stuff scattered as far as the eye can see. The camera cuts to our first diary entry. I'm going to give this to Nook, seeing that there's a lot of things around. So, for the audience, since this is a reality TV show, we also have some reality TV show diary entries, and the players may call a diary entry whenever they so wish. Nook, the camera sets up facing you. What would you like to tell the audience?
So I'm playing my cards close to my chest. The others, they're not going to hear much of a peep out of me. I've decided I really like the look of that coin, that Alan? I still don't know how to pronounce it, but I don't want to ask because then that gets rid of the whole mysterious thing I'm going for. I'll just assume it. He's never going to hear me say his name. But I'm thinking I might, in my own way, just get close to him and I want to take that coin. I've decided I want to take the coin, so I'm going to take the coin.
We cut back to our first interaction with the space. What would anyone like to do now that you are in the so-called demiplane?
Goodness gracious, the lighting in here is wonderful. Don't you think, friends?
Yeah, it's all right.
I love that power armor you've got on there, Bartholomew. I've never seen anything quite like it.
Oh yes, it's pre-planar war era. It's a one of a kind, really. I'm slowly building it up. You see, all I'm missing is a planar gyroscope. So if you find one, I'll give you 20 gold for it.
Right. Well, it's good. I mean, obviously, I know what a planar gyroscope is, but for these others, what would that look like?
Okay, imagine.
Yeah, what's a planar gyroscope?
See, told you.
Planar gyroscope. Imagine bands of material that are not solid, but are also not liquid or gaseous, banded around each other, constantly moving all sorts of different colors. If you see something that is at risk of giving you an epileptic seizure, then alert me immediately.
Okay.
What's a epileptic seizure?
Bad thing.
Yes.
What's a band?
Sort of.
Not good?
Not
Sure.
good as well, yeah.
Sure. Should we start?
Good idea.
The training video didn't cover exactly what we're meant to do, so
I go and I touch Alan on the shoulder, and I let him look at me first, and then I look towards him. And then
Hello.
And I go and I just like point to a certain area. I intend to lead him away from the group.
I believe you think? Did you see one of the gyroscopes, Nook? Oh. Okay. Yeah, I think there's something over here, everybody. We're just going to go and have a little look.
Mr. Alan, sir.
Yes, it's Alan is fine. You can also call me Aaron if you like. Sorry, Nobby. No, go on.
That's all right. Can I borrow that fancy coin you got? It looks pretty. I want to have a look at it.
Absolutely. Of course. Yes, you can. And I'm just going to pop it out here. Hang on a second. There you go. Just hear it. Sorry. Here it is. Just don't flip it. Okay?
I immediately bite it to see if it's like proper metals.
Again, no pockets. I wouldn't put that in your mouth.
All right.
It's
I'm not
kind
going to
of
let
chunky.
you know yet if that did anything. Continue.
Anyway, Nook, let's go over here now. What did you see?
And I'm disappointed because now that the coin's been like spat on, but I play along with it anyway because I commit to the bit. So I'm like, And I just go and I drag him like by the arm, and I just sort of start pointing to things randomly.
Not
and then I look to him inquisitively like, what do you think? But I say nothing.
Brilliant.
You're a goblin of few words, Nook.
Diary entry. I'm actually not a goblin. I'm a half elf, but I can't correct him. I've committed to this too much now, but it's fine. No, it's fine. He can think what he wants. I'm gonna get out of him what I plan to get out of him.
Diary entry.
Cuts to the diary entry of Aelin.
Nook is the strangest looking goblin I've ever seen. Like quite tall, got the pointy goblin ears, but not as greeny grey as the rest of them. I'm really quite confused. Very, very, very little to say, but a lot of pointing. I'm going to discover more about this. I just feel a little out of place amongst all these goblins. I kind of feel like sometimes maybe I got put in the wrong group, but you got to do what you can do with what you've got. Anyway, thanks for listening.
The camera goes back to you two. Half of the crew has followed you into this area. What you see around you is a collection of things, but it seems to be categorized. You get the impression that if something is thrown into this demiplane, it ends up following items that are similar. There's almost a catalog going on in this space. So you walk into an area that seems to be shields and weapons.
I've never seen this much junk organized under a Dewey Decimal System before.
I'm okay. So
mysterious.
Are there any daggers out currently?
There are, yes. The swords, although they are in piles, so they don't seem to be stacked or on shelves, they do go in size order. So you watch as there's a small pile of daggers, there's a small pile of short swords. The piles get bigger as the swords get bigger. And cool. You do see a pile of daggers that you can have a look at.
Great. I begin to work out a plan because I like to take things. So I sort of do a sort of, oh, what's that over there? And I point like over Aelin's shoulder in the other direction. And I go and just quickly swipe one dagger and I hide it under my cloak.
Okay.
And do I roll for that?
You can do. Yeah, go for a sleight of hand for me.
Okay.
I looked over there, Nook. It's just just another huge pile of junk. I think that's pretty much this whole place.
Dirty 20.
No one notices. Not even the film crew have picked up on this. They almost followed with the camera to see what you had pointed at. And do you choose any specific dagger or do you just draw one from the pile?
I'm planning to get a set of 3 so I can then juggle them for my own personal reasons.
But you aren't choosing specific daggers, you're just pulling from the pile.
Just pulling from a pile. Yeah.
Okay, not a problem at all. Good to know. Good to know. You end up getting 3 daggers in your collection. As we cut to the second camera, the remaining group that are left behind after the separation, Bartholomew, Drat, Sab, Bubbles, and Nobby are in a little bit of a huddle discussing what they're going to do next now that they're here.
At this point, Nobby has just passed the coin around to a point that not even he knows who the fuck has the coin anymore.
Perfect.
So that's just gone.
Bubbles, do you think that we're going to run into any dangers here? Is there like garbage monsters?
You see Bubbles on his haunches at this point in time, kind of banging his head against the floor. No one's, he started doing his whole survival training bit where he was looking around, looking for danger, looking for the obvious. And then 2 of the lunatics have just literally walked off into potential danger. He opens up a flask, hands it to the 3 goblins in a trench coat, and then just takes a huge swig and says, look, fellas, the camera's not on us, so I don't have to put that stupid squeaky voice on. Oops. Oh, no! Yeah, I'm a goblin. I've become Irish. And then immediately starts looking for any obvious signs of death, dismemberment, or elephants.
Perfect. Okay, roll an investigation check for me.
How about survival?
I'll allow it.
Thank goodness for that. I'm an idiot. Well, that was a bad idea. 10. All of 10. That's a 1 and 0, just in case that helps.
Okay. What's interesting is, although you cannot see any danger or flesh, you get a rotten smell. It's not emanating from a certain direction thus far, but you definitely feel something in this demiplane is rotting.
Your diary.
Go for it.
Yeah, I thought it'd be really fun being the middle person in like a three goblins in a trench coat, but Jesus, Bartholomew in that armor, God, he stinks. I can't handle it. I can't. Help me, please. The end.
Diary.
Go for it.
It's a medical condition. It's a medical condition. It's just there's nothing I can do about it.
We cut back to the main action, 3 goblins in a trench coat. Speaking of Dratsab, Clint, in the middle of the trench coat, what are you doing?
I'm the support, so I've got to have my hands on Bartholomew, and I've got to make sure that my knees are really tight around Nobby's head.
Brilliant. Because I do see that a wild magic has been donated to you.
These guys are fucked.
So let me know the moment you do something physical and or interact with something, and we'll see what may happen. Back to the main
diary.
action.
I knew this was a bad idea at the time, but I thought I'd go along with it. If only I knew what was going to happen to poor old Dratsab to begin with, I never would have let him on my shoulders.
Okay. Eventually, Nook and Alan make it back to the main group, not finding anything dramatic unless Alan was looking for something.
No, I'm just amazed at all the junk that is just literally everywhere. Who would have thought this place would be full of all this stuff? Exactly, Nook.
You make it back to the main group. What is the cleanup crew's main course of action?
Bartholomew's gonna go to the camera crew. I saw there was an assistant around here. You wouldn't happen to have grabbed, as part of your research for this documentary, you wouldn't have happened to grab like a manual on how to, like a step-by-step guide of what our job descriptions are?
No. Sorry, I think you're meant to like clean up and find items and then take them back and sell them. Find the most prize-worthy things and then go from there. But that's all I've been told from the boss. But I thought you guys were meant to know what you're doing.
Of course we do. We're cool.
Good. Yeah.
Bartholomew just turns to the camera crew. We're cool, right? We're on a level.
The people behind the camera put up the thumbs up.
I'm cool.
So if we ask you not to point the cameras in a specific direction, you're okay with that, right?
Actually, the contracts you signed with Mr. Cracker means that we can film you the entire time we're in the demi-plane.
I just pull the trench coat close, like.
Okay.
It's part of the show, you see. It's part of the show.
I see.
Yeah.
Bartholomew's going to take out a pair of what looks like snorkeling goggles and as a ritual begin to cast detect magic, so that through the goggles he'd be able to detect magic items.
Perfect. Now, is that a 10-minute
Yes.
casting? Perfect. All right. What's everyone else doing? What is Bubbles up to?
So Bubbles has seen his glorious team leader go off with the half-elf and then come back again into the area we're supposed to be going to. And it's kind of looking at him in that kind of like, I know you're senior middle management at best, but that's where we're supposed to go. And he's trying to gently just do the kind of...
Nice finger guns, Bubbles. You've got some real style there. Pow, pow, pow.
Mm-hmm.
You're a real up-and-comer. You know, one day you could be middle management like me, too, and not know what you're doing at any given time.
Bubbles looks at the camera and sees a camera. We should be going in there and exploring and finding the valuable items to sell later on.
Yes,
Up north.
absolutely.
And Bubbles makes his way towards that, kind of gesturing at the rest of the party with kind of less than subtle.
Perfect. You see Bubbles starting to make headway towards an alleyway within these piles and things.
Bubbles? Bubbles, as we're walking, you're a goblin, right?
What gave it away? Is it my accent and squeaky voice?
Yes, it was. Absolutely. Convinced me immediately. I've just got a question. Bartholomew, he's quite tall for a goblin, but has quite short arms. There's something untoward about this. I'm a little confused.
Oh, Bartholomew. Oh, he's a goblin to be of all goblins. Look how tall he is. The grace and elegance that he brings to this.
Yes.
I mean, anyway, he's lovely.
Yes.
Looks like a normal goblin to me. Don't know what you're on about, governor.
Right, yes.
To be
sorry. Awkward. Yes, sorry, terrible question. Anyway, you seem to know what you're about, Bubbles. Where are we going?
Okay, and Bubbles tries to stretch up towards the Asmar's ear and fails abysmally and kind of gets probably about mid-drift height.
I take a knee.
Clings for a bit. We need to find stuff that looks valuable and then take it back to the boss and impress the camera people. Nook's usually really good at whipping stuff.
Okay.
But I don't know, she seems distracted today. These half-elves, I mean, you just can't pick them. One day they're on, and one day they're off doing their
Sorry,
hair.
whoa.
What?
You half-elf?
Are you all right?
I am such an idiot. Oh, my God. Well, that is a broad question, Bubbles, and one that we will have to circle back to together.
When you meet Nobby the Dragonborn, right? Just don't look him in the eye.
Okay.
Dragonborn. Remember, he's just Dragonborn.
Okay.
Doesn't matter what it looks like.
All right.
Can I go now?
Locked and loaded. Let's get down this alleyway. Come on, everybody. Follow me. Nothing could possibly go wrong. And I rush off down the alleyway.
Perfect. Dratsab, you wanted to do something as well.
Yeah, I was just going to say, while Bartholomew was above us casting Detect Magic as his ritual, I'd just lean down to Nobby and say, hey, Nob, hey, let's follow him. And I really don't think that A-Land dude's that bright.
Yeah, all right. You might have to point me. I can't quite see.
I'll direct you with my knees like a horse.
Yeah, all right. That works for me. It does.
So
Let's go.
Left, right. Straight ahead. Oh, yeah, we're all good. Watch out for Bubbles.
Bubbles!
We missed him.
Roll a... Whoever's on the bottom, which I think is Nobby, roll a dexterity check for me at disadvantage.
Stand by. Dexterity. A 10.
All right, you fall into Bubbles and you cause the top two goblins to fall out of the trench coat from the top So now there are 4 goblins lying in the soft, squishy dirt. Bartholomew, this doesn't interrupt your spell casting, but Dratsab, it does mean that you are now out of the trench coat and touching the ground.
Hi, Mr. Cameraman. You didn't see me. I try to duck back under the coat.
There's like an uncomfortable zoom on you. Just like a little bit too close.
I just picture him because he's like fallen ass over tit over bubbles. It's just an uncomfortable zoom on his butt as he tries to scramble up and run for the coat. Definitely. Definitely. All right. You start making your way down this passageway. Bartholomew, your goggles kick in after 10 minutes. Almost every pile surrounding you has something in it that is glowing. It seems that this adventuring party, who has unfortunately died during an adventure, has left a fortune in this demiplane. But it's up to you guys to find the best things, because you cannot really take everything out of this demiplane at once. And it is your mission to impress this camera crew and make sure that your boss, Mr. Cracker, doesn't end up furious with you all at the end of this.
Okay. Bartholomew, his main goal is to find his planar gyroscope. So he's just going to beeline it to each magic item that he sees, and just like, if it's not the planar gyroscope, he's just going to throw it over his shoulder into the alleyway and call out, "Magic item, magic item."
Perfect. You see, as you go, there is a really large pile of random knickknacks is the category. So you see egg cups and bottle openers and all sorts of little things that someone could find in an antique shop or in a knickknack shop that these adventurers have collected and just thrown into their bag of holding. Whilst you're going through that, trying to find the glowing thing at the bottom, you pull out what looks to be a pair of spectacles. And they are weirdly shaped like half moons, but reversed. So instead of this way, they face downwards when you put them on.
Okay. Found something cool. Does anyone want to take a look? Okay. Do you speak common? Right. Okay. Yes. Yeah. There you go.
So the eyes I'm giving Bartholomew is just like, I understand everything that you're saying, but you're not going to hear a thing out of me, essentially. Dear Diary, I'm going to use my title as head of appraisal to appraise. And the thing is, everything's going to need further inspection. So then that's when I'm going to take it. That's the tactic. So yeah, no one should give me stuff because they're all going to need some extra looking at on my part.
The camera cuts back to the main action. Bartholomew throws a few more things into the alleyway, including a couple of potions that look really random. Again, these are still from the knickknacks and assortments, so you could hypothetically assume that it wouldn't be some sort of healing potion or something like that. But as he throws another potion bottle back, calling out magic item, it smashes. The glass a little too delicate. And we have our first wild magic element to this show. So, because I'm not rolling on a standard wild magic table, the things in this demiplane might get a little bit strange. As the potion smashes against the floor, a small rumble starts to set off. And what looked to be dirt floor before now seems to smooth out and become almost trampoline-esque as it starts to move and wave underneath both the camera crew and the cleanup crew. So I need you all to roll dexterity saving throws for me.
So whilst this is going on and everyone's ass over tea kettle, Bartholomew's going to try to pocket some of the knick-knacky magic items, and hopefully the camera crew doesn't see him.
Okay, whilst you're doing your dexterity saving throw, please also roll a sleight of hand for me.
Okay.
I also believe that is disadvantage to everyone except Bubble. Thanks to the donations from chat.
Nook rolled a 15.
15, not a problem.
Alan rolled a 4.
Brilliant.
Nobby rolled a 7.
7 for Nobby.
Dretzab rolled a 15.
15. 8 for Bubbles and Bartholomew.
Bartholomew rolled 18 for the dex save and 11 for a sleight of hand.
Okay. You seem to stay on your feet as the world becomes a little topsy-turvy. However, the camera crew definitely picks up on you taking a few of these magic items.
He just freezes as he's like pocketing a silver spoon into his like waistcoat pocket. Finding stability. It looked like it was going to get damaged.
They make no commentary. They are only here to capture what is happening. But they do zoom in on you slightly as you recuperate yourself. You are able to take 2 other magic items. So note down for me that you have a spoon and 2 other things. We'll find out what they are later if chat is willing. So anyone who rolled under a 10, the ground is bouncy. You struggle to walk because the smaller you are, the higher you jump every time you put a foot down. Those over 10, you are perfectly stable and do not understand why your fellow compatriots cannot walk smoothly in this space. So, whilst you continue down this alleyway, anything that you attempt will be at disadvantage, and also you could use this trampolining floor to your advantage, depending on how creative you get. You continue on through the alleyway, I'm guessing. Anyone looking for anything specific?
Nobby's trying to find anything shiny.
Anything shiny. Perfect. Roll an investigation check for me.
Natty, 2 12s. Is a 18.
An 18. Okay, perfect. You are in the knick-knack section still. So you find a lot of shiny things, from silver tea sets to cutlery, a couple of shaped swords that look ornamental rather than usage. And you also find a small hummingbird that is made out of like a coppery silver metal.
I'm definitely taking the little hummingbird. A pretty bird.
Perfect. So I'm also reminded that we have 3 wild magic surges in play right now. So I really want to know what Bubbles is up to and what Dratsab is up to.
Dratsab is going to start looking for objects of a religious nature. Things that he can potentially, turn to his dark god Bane's influence, or just melt down for currency. And he will cast guidance on himself and start looking around as much as he possibly can.
Perfect. Roll an investigation check for me.
Investigation.
Mm-hmm.
A 7.
7. You do find something interesting buried in the pile of knickknacks, just very close to the floor and conveniently in your eye line, nothing too hard to find. A button that seems to have a symbol on it that you recognize from one of the local religions.
Awesome. I will immediately go to pick that up.
Perfect. The moment you do, you feel an overwhelming surge within your person. This button is going to give you 3 minutes of unrelenting happiness. It is from one of the coats from the guild that supports happiness and true self. So for the next 3 minutes, you are very happy and you tell nothing but the truth.
I really hate my job, but I don't care because this is such a great place. Look at everyone. What are you doing, Bubbles? Hello?
Are you okay, Drat?
I'm wonderful. Knobs, you should. Hey, what did you find? You found a little birdie. What does it do?
I don't know. And I'll bite. I'll just bite like part of the bird and just.
You got a real bad habit of putting things in your mouth. I don't think you should be doing that.
Interesting.
What's the worst that can happen? It's a birdie.
As you bite down on the little bird, you breathe out, and your breath goes through the beak of the bird and lets out a very high-pitched whistle.
Oh, yes.
The 6 of you stop in your tracks, whatever you're doing, as this whistle echoes through the space of the demiplane. If you were alone, you might not be any longer. Bubbles, what are you up
Guys,
to?
it's a whistle.
So Bubbles is used to Nook and Bartholomew usually finding the good stuff first. So when he sees them both accidentally darting up and picking up things, he looks at the, corporate mandated sack we're supposed to put stuff into, size, and then goes to another pile to kind of break through and find something that looks like it would fit on the boss's shelf. Those strange objects that either have gold, platinum, or appear to be overly ornate in it. But he knows anywhere that Nook's hands are passed over, there's going to be nothing of value from there. And Bartholomew always finds the top-notch magical stuff. So Bubbles is looking for those bits that are collector's pieces, i.e. junk but look fancy.
Perfect. All right. Roll me an investigation check.
Ooh, that's a 16, DM.
Perfect. You find a matching salt and pepper set. They are made from a clay that is probably about 1,000 years old. And what's interesting is when you shake them, they still have things in them. On instinct, however, as you shake both of these shakers, small bits of substance come out of both. But they aren't salt and pepper. One of them lets out a fiery red seed, which drops on your foot. As it does so, you enlarge, and your skin turns a bright red. The other one also emits into the air, this one being a blue, almost shiny light that floats up. Instead of a snowflake that would fall on your face, it floats and immediately hits you in the cheek. You feel your face bubble. And it does the complete opposite of what happened before. It shrinks you down even smaller and turns you a soft blue.
I feel I've just gone through an incredible Hulk experience without there being the Hulk bit. So his kind of clothes will rip and he's kind of standing there, kind of these shredded looking clothes. To which point he sighs kind of another day at the office and starts raking through his bag to look for a new outfit.
Perfect. I will let you know that because those two were wild magic surges, you will randomly grow big and grow small throughout the rest of this game. You are welcome.
We're going to be getting a lot of bubble wang in this, aren't we?
We're going to need a lot of pairs of pants, I believe.
I'm okay with a sewing needle. Do you want me to put some elastic in the waistband?
Looking for the camera crew. If you could, that would be super, governor.
But I suggest an open and flowing robe. Not only is it breezy and comfortable, but it's also one size fits all.
You don't understand,
We got this-
do you?
We got this big trench coat that we're not wearing anymore. You might be able to get away with that when you're all nice and big.
You could turn it into a thong.
Bubbles desperately tries to kind of shrink at his knees and tries to ensure Nook and the camera crew can't see anything at this point in time. He's kind of gone into that kind of puddle-like thing. And the problem is AJ, you mentioned we bounce quite a bit.
Yep.
So this is like trying to be in a kid's trampoline and trying to dress yourself at the same time. It's probably not going too well.
No, not at all. But the camera crew are picking up everything. And as they're doing so, it also cuts to a diary entry of Bartholomew commenting on the events of the trampoline floor that he accidentally created.
Why was I so reckless with throwing potions about the place? I was not happy about being in a trench coat for several hours before we got to this place, and yes, it was vengeance.
Brilliant. We cut back to the main action as Bubbles is still struggling to change into some sort of clothing found in the knick-knack section on a trampoline, when you all start to hear a scuttling. At first, it doesn't seem like much, something moving in the distance. Then you hear the sound of cracking bones as it moves. The sounds get louder and in all directions.
Does anybody else hear that?
What?
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like my Aunt Kathy.
We're supposed to hide. There's something coming. There's something coming, Governor. Hide.
Well,
Okay.
aren't you the first line? You're the first defense, right?
That's why you're supposed to hide. Hide.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I'm more of a spellcaster at the back
AJ,
anyway.
is
so
there
I'll
any
just-
like high mounds of stuff anywhere around us?
There are a lot of high mounds of stuff. It depends whether you want to try and find a hiding spot in the knick-knack. I got Nook in there somehow. In the knick-knack section, or whether you continue on into the furniture section, which seems to be up ahead.
I would like to do a nice big bounce up onto the top of a certain mountain in the knick-knack area.
Perfect.
I immediately
Okay.
hear the scuttling and I'm like, nope. And I just jump.
Bounce out. Awesome. Roll me an acrobatics check.
Okay.
Alan, what are you doing?
I'm trying to move behind Bubbles, who's the muscle of this group. But because of the bounciness, I'm sort of struggling a little bit, and I grab onto Bubbles and accidentally rip further rip the torn clothing just as I stumble down with the wobbly ground. Oh, sorry, Bubbles. Sorry about that. I'm sure you wouldn't. I just pat it and cast mending on his clothes to fix up the damage.
Perfect.
I rolled a 14.
14. Okay, not bad. You're a little shaky when you get to the top of this knick-knack pile, given that they're all small items. So eventually your feet find a flat surface, but you've created it for yourself. You do also hear the sounds of like ceramic breaking and all sorts of stuff below your feet. So you've made a solid surface for yourself with a 14, but you have maybe damaged a few things in the process.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Absolutely. I just put myself up there like a gargoyle statue and I just watch what's going on.
From your vantage point, you can actually see the crew starting to move into hiding positions as well. Dratsab, what are you doing?
I wasn't really paying attention to the spongy surface of the ground.
Perfect.
And since I'm now in this euphoric feeling that I'm having and I see Nook fly up, I'm going, and all of a sudden I just like bounce and go, woohoo! And then starts bouncing and everywhere. It's like bounce, 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 whoopee! Whee! Up and down everywhere, not worried about a thing.
Brilliant. Roll me some one acrobatics check, I'll just count that as all of your bouncing.
Okie doke. Acrobatic. Ah! That's a +3, so it's a 4. So that's a 1.
Ah, I see. Interesting. You know that feeling when someone double bounces you on a trampoline and you definitely don't go in the direction you're meaning to?
Mm-hmm.
That happens the first attempt you try at bouncing, and you immediately launch straight into a pile of knickknacks on the other side of the one Nook is gargoyling atop of.
Ow!
I will also say, Alan, after casting Mending, your hands are really itchy.
Ooh. Was there Bubbles? Do you wash that very often? Is that a
Define wash, boss.
right? Well, usually it involves never mind. Now's not the time. Nook, can you see anything up there? Nook.
And I just begin to just like look out. Do I see anything like dangerous at all?
Roll a perception check for me.
Your.
Also for Alan, over the next little while, you start to grow fur from your hands that begins to drift up your body. I will let you describe how long that process takes.
It's like the temple said. I knew it would happen one of these days. Hair on the palms.
I rolled a 15.
A 15, okay. From your vantage point, you can actually see something, but they're very small. And you know when you see something out of the corner of your eye and it is so quick you think you saw something or missed something? It's that sensation. Only it's everywhere.
Okay, so I begin to vocalize that without saying anything to Alan, and I'm just like, whoa, like,
All right, everybody. I believe they're serving. I believe they're serving beef Wellington for lunch, and it will be ready in 30. No. Wait, 5, 10, 15.
I try to make an infinity symbol with my hand.
Infinity. There's infinite. Everyone, there's infinite beef Wellington.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry.
No, wait, monsters. Oh, God, they're coming. They're all around us, and we're...
I do this to be like, yeah, I think you got it right.
We're totally doomed.
So does that mean we're not getting the beef Wellington?
I don't know. Look, let me...
Can I hear them all while I'm up perched, or can I?
Yeah, you
okay,
can.
Cool.
You're not too far away from them.
All
You're
right,
about
cool.
20 feet.
Okay. Let me circle back to you on the beef Wellington. Nobby, have you got the coin? Nobby, I need that coin.
Who did I give it? I gave it to... I don't have the coin, boss.
Okay, who's got the coin? Where's it? Oh! I think there's a cat in the rubbish. Oh! Dratsab, are you okay?
No.
What's wrong?
I fell, but I'm super happy about it.
Okay. Okay, well, that's great. Thanks for sharing. All input is valuable in the group. Can I help you up, my little friend?
You start hearing the clickering and clattering getting louder. Bones snapping.
Okay, that sound doesn't sound good to me. Anybody else? Let's take look. This is a democracy. Let's take a vote. Anybody else think this is a bad sound?
Told you those guys are fucked.
Nobby's going to do that Scrooge McDuck style, like bounce, and then like swan dive into a random pile of crap and attempt to hide in it.
Because you are causing yourself injury by doing this, I won't make you roll an acrobatics check for accuracy. I will just say, yes, you do bounce twice and launch yourself into a pile of rubbish. Actually, I'll roll. You take 2 points of damage as you launch yourself into the cutlery section.
Damn, they made this look good in the plays.
You really forked that one up, Nobby.
It's at this point that you see small, black, spider-like creatures emerge. If anyone remembers the scene from Harry Potter when they all like come over the mountain at the same time, you see about 18 medium-sized spiders crawl over the piles of stuff around you, targeting in on the group.
Bartholomew's just going to cast invisibility on himself.
Brilliant.
And go over to the potions that he's tossed aside and begin gathering them up and pocketing them.
Perfect.
I will lift myself up and stand next to Bubbles and give him a vigilant blessing.
I would like to hide.
Go for it. In the pile of cutlery, you can definitely attempt to hide. Roll stealth for me.
If I'm standing still, is it still at disadvantage?
No, I'd say because you have enough cover that it's a standard roll. You'll be fine. Bubbles, as you are blessed, your wild magic kicks in. You grow once more, twice your size, to a red beastly being. But also, since another wild magic was bestowed upon you, spines start growing out of your back like a dinosaur.
Oh, I didn't mean that.
Trap, what did you do to Bubbles?
I don't know.
Also, 26 on stealth. Sorry.
26 on stealth, perfect. You are cutlery. As far as anyone else knows, Nobby is gone. Bartholomew, since you also cast invisibility, you are also disappeared to the wind. However, you are just in the middle of the space, so if you start moving, I will let you know that you'll need to roll stealth still, probably at advantage, but they can still hear you.
They can still hear me?
You're on a trampoline.
Can I use my artificer little magical tinkering to just create like one of those little clapping monkeys and chuck it to the side?
Do you have a clapping monkey already?
I can... Yes. Yes, I do.
Look, you know what? I'll allow it because I find this funny. Otherwise, I would have made you build a clapping monkey whilst combat's happening. So you pull out a clapping monkey from seemingly nowhere, since you're invisible, and you throw it into the space. What's your plan with the monkey?
I'm going to throw it a little bit away from me so I can gather all these potions in peace.
Perfect, not a problem. On top of the creepy, skittering, spider-like creatures, a terrifying clapping monkey pops up out of nowhere in the center of you all, laughing and clapping these giant cymbals. Anyone want to do anything?
Yeah, so just to be clear, the small nimble Bubbles is now basically Barney the dinosaur in red.
Yes.
And bouncing up and down.
Incredibly correct, yes.
Okay. He looks at the boss, looks at the camera crew, sighs. To be sure, we should be escaping now. You need that coin before they come and kill us all again, to be sure. You can't see Bartholomew. Nobby's just buggered off as well. So I can see Nook, I can see the boss, and I can see my other mate with me as well, and the other two have gone. Is the camera crew pointing anywhere in particular at where Bartholomew may have been, just to give us a bit of a hint? And
no, because Bartholomew was standing by you and then just wasn't there anymore. You
Okay.
do, as you look around to the camera crew, two of the cameras, because there's 3 in total, 2 of them are focusing in on you all as you prepare for whatever this is. The other one seems to be panning across all of the creatures. So for the audience at home, there is this tense montage between each of the characters in this scene preparing for the onslaught of skittering spider creatures, whilst there is a close-up of these creatures lining the space around them.
And AJ,
Yes.
when Nobby was doing the weird things with the coin, did Bubbles see what he did with it? I would make a perception roll or something like that, if that helps.
Yeah, roll. Let's just go perception. Yeah, you would have been observing what was happening.
Thank goodness that was a 5. Natural 20, taking it to a total of 25.
Perfect. You all had done some sort of pass the parcel of this coin at some point, and Nobby made a joke about putting it in his nostril again. You assume it's there.
So as I'm bouncing as a giant dinosaur, I see the boss. Go find the Dragonborn. He's got your coin, to be sure.
Thank you, Bubbles. You've really risen to the occasion. I didn't expect you to turn into Dorothy the dinosaur with spikes out of your back, but honestly, just so impressed. Well done. You're really going to get an exceed in your KPIs. Just saying.
I paid a bleeding fortune for this jacket. And then if I can assume a bouncing dinosaur combat stance for whatever happens.
You may. You kind of look like one of those video game starter characters. Like, choose your player.
Yeah, and he shouts to the rest of the group before the rest of it's like, can't remember the accent. Get to the high ground until we can teleport away, to be sure.
You watch as you call out to your team, the skittering creatures call out to each other as well. You hear a nattering of limbs, and you realize that their front and back legs are almost clapping and moving against each other to make a sound. It starts on one end of the circle, and they continue to copy each other. I need you all to roll initiative for me.
Oh no, these are yucky. Would like them.
I rolled a 14.
14, okay.
16 for Nobby.
10 for Alan.
Just realized I need to write these down. Yes, a Mexican wave of spiders. Baron, that is completely accurate. Only it's a lot more horrifying than something as joyful as a Mexican wave. Okay, starting from anyone in the 20s or under, there was 19.
22.
22 for Bubbles.
19 for Drapsab.
19 for Drapsab. Under 19?
16 for Nobby.
16 for Nobby.
14.
Bartholomew? 14. Yep.
14.
Perfect. And the other two?
A 14 for Nook.
Perfect. So same time as Bartholomew.
And a 10 for Alan.
And a 10. Perfect. All right. And I will quickly roll for the creatures. All right. And the crew comes in at a measly 4. So you see as these creatures start to make sounds with each other and feel as it almost shakes through your skin and your bones in the space, urging you to feel almost violent. However, for yourself, Dratsab, this is a violent, happy mix. Perfect. Bubbles, you're up. What would you like to do?
Okay. This is a typical situation for the group. They're supposed to be clustered in a combat stance, and they're all over the sodding shop. So Bubbles, as he's bouncing up and down, centers himself and spends his bonus action is to summon 2 extra arms. So now you see it manifests, which really doesn't work with his jacket, but let's just go with it. He then looks at the piles. Ian, is there any way we can tip the piles to block some of the creatures? Because I'm looking to reduce the number of combatants, if at all possible.
Okay, we can get creative with this. The spidery creatures are around the piles. I will say, however, that if you roll a high enough strength I'll give you advantage in your taller form, you can push one of the piles over, and that might throw down a few of the spiders off of their high vantage point.
So because I can't see 2 of my party members, and someone just mentioned KPIs, I'm going to try and help the boss to a certain point. Not too much, not to be too, kind of kissy to the boss, but to a certain point, make it look like I'm making an effort to save him. So spiders coming towards the boss, get a shunt there. So what would you like me to roll?
Strength check for me with advantage.
Roll. Oh, that was quite good. 21.
21. Perfect. You knock over a pile of knickknacks and you watch as half of the spiders fall off the vantage point that they've created, almost like dominoes. It knocks one, then the other off. However, you also hear a shattering of glass and the potent smell of blueberries. As wild magic has been cast on the Mexican wave of spiders, you feel as these spiders get covered in some sort of blue, sweet-smelling potion and begin to bubble up, similar to the way the floor has, bubble up with these giant blue boils. They grow about 2 sizes bigger than they were before. You are now facing 9 small spiders and 9 giant blueberry monsters.
Blueberries. If pushing over the pile was my action, I took my bonus action movement. As long as I'm not going to move out of a particular combat reach, try to move towards the 2 party members I can see, because I can't see Nook. She's probably just disappeared somewhere safe in the first place.
Perfect. Nook, I think, is still visible on the top of the pile that she was on.
Yeah, I'm just gargoyling.
Yeah, she's well away from it. She's much smarter than the rest of us. So yeah, I'll try and look after the 2.
Perfect. I'm also going to roll some damage for those spiders as well on their impact to the ground. Perfect. Okay. Dratsab.
I'm going to start to cast spell called no, actually I'm going to divinity, like channel my god, and I'm going to center myself trying to get everyone with it that's in a 30-foot radius out from me, giving them the strength and of aid to help each other, and they all get 10 temporary hit points.
Lovely.
Every single person, and that's me.
Perfect.
Including the cast.
Including the
cast.
group?
Everyone that's in like
30
foot. Yeah, 30-foot radius, so 60-foot diameter. Everyone gets 10 bonus hit points.
Perfect. Okay. Right. Awesome. Good to know. Okay. Nobby, what would you like to do?
Nobby is just going to do the old school shoot and scoot at one of the giant blueberry spiders that smells absolutely delicious. Now all he can think about is beef Wellington and blueberry pie. So I'm going to have shot one of the spiders. 19 plus a bajillion.
Perfect.
Or, yeah. I'm hidden, so I get sneak attack, yes?
You get sneak attack if you have advantage. Yeah.
Do I have advantage because I'm hidden? Shit.
I will allow you to, yes, because you are a pile of cutlery right now.
Yeah. Well, it was a natty one, so it doesn't really matter. Ooh, nice. 13 points of stabby.
13 points of damage. Perfect. You stab them from your vantage point?
With my bow and arrow, yes.
With your bow and arrow, perfect. Okay. I was like, you can't stab from your pile of cutlery. But that's perfect. You see an arrow shoot out of the pile of cutlery, and this blueberry monstrosity immediately bursts, sending blue vial and like bits of flesh everywhere. It covers almost 30 feet towards you as it explodes forward for some reason. And you are covered, and you and the cutlery are covered in this like ickly blue substance. Still smells sweet. Feels gross. Feels really
I lick it on instinct and then like scrunch my face up and be like, I thought it would taste good. It doesn't.
Perfect. As you lick the substance, your tongue begins to swell. And you look down, you have a blue, inflamed tongue.
Oh, that was a bad idea.
Probably.
Help.
Bartholomew, it is your turn.
Bartholomew is gonna have a look around and see if there's any clusters of these spiders. Is there a cluster close to him?
Yes. So you've either got the 9 spindly spider things or the 8 blueberry ones.
He'll go for the 9 spindly ones.
Okay.
He's gonna look through the potions that he's just pocketed.
Perfect.
And with his alchemist supply knowledge, he's going to I want to see which is the worst ones to mix together and just throw them in a lump towards these spiders. I'll like use the trampoline floor to get some elevation and then fling them towards the spiders.
Brilliant. Okay, firstly, roll me an arcana to see if you know what these potions do.
11.
Perfect. Secondly, roll me your throw. So I will allow you to choose whatever stat you want from that, whether you use acrobatics to bounce, strength to throw, whatever works for you, I will allow you to do that.
Okay, I'll go acrobatics.
Go for it.
21.
21. Perfect. You throw 3 vials towards this pile of spiders. As the 3 different colored liquids explode out on the ground or on the knickknacks that these spiders are crawling over, you watch one of them completely melt. It might have been some sort of acid, some sort of anti-spider potion. Whatever it is, it turns into black ooze. The other 2, however, explode and you feel the ground start to move. A small man pops out of nowhere, blue-skinned, immediately takes a look at the 2 spiders and starts running down to you. Oh, jeez! What have you done? You summoned me here of all places!
Were you in the bottle?
Yeah.
You're not a spider?
No. Do I look like a spider?
All right.
Don't
Go
answer that.
to the camera crew. Go to the camera crew. It's fine.
What? No, I'm gonna get rid of the spot. What are you doing?
You
You see-
spiders butt naked?
That's what you called me here for.
Well, don't let me keep you from doing your job then.
You watch as this blue-skinned man, maybe called Matt Brown, turns around and starts firing a slingshot at each of the spiders. However, what is in the slingshot seemed to be oranges and cans of beans. If anyone knows Split the Party, they might know the beans reference. These random objects that this man is pulling from seemingly nowhere, since you've described him as butt naked, begin to launch at these spiders one by one. He takes out most of them in like rapid fire. However, 3 giant blueberries are left behind. So, Nook, you are up.
I'm just there, just perched, just like generally just sort of like amused by everything that's happening. Just like, wow, there's spiders now. Great. Was there anywhere that the spiders like came from, or they just emerged? There seemed to be a source where they seem to be regenerating and more spiders are coming, or are the 18 in there just the ones that are in there?
The 18 that have come seem to be the only ones so far. You watch them scuttle from in between piles to where you are from your vantage point earlier. So you don't know their original source, unfortunately.
Okay, cool. I'm going to just stay up here. I'm not going to intervene. I'm just going to act God and watch. That's what I've decided. If someone wants my help, I'll... Dear Diary, you know, times like this, I usually would... just destroy everything. I'm a rogue and I'm very skilled at combat, but I don't want to do that today. I'm just going to see if these losers can figure it out for themselves, and I'm going to just watch. Peace.
What's interesting about a diary entry is that it is usually done after the action. So what the audience see is a blue-covered Nook full of bits and flesh in her hair, just plainly stating that she's not going to help in the combat. We cut back to the main action as Alan. It is your turn.
All right, great work, everyone. Bubbles, forearms, love it. Really good, really goes with the whole coat thing. Nobby shooting out of the cutlery, great. Helps me know where you are. Dratsab, now, temporary hit points. What a team player. Everybody, quick round of applause. Bartholomew, great work on summoning the blue guy. Naked, okay. I mean, hey, all power to you. Not the choice that I would have made.
No judgment.
No. Just saying, not that, hey, I'm not here to yuck anyone's yum. Just saying, not the choice I would have made. Nook. Not sure if you're still here, but perhaps we should all gather in together a little closer, just in case these massive blueberries roll over us. Now, Bubbles, I'm just going to hide behind you just a little bit more, and Alan leans out from the behind the massive form of Bubbles. His right arm stretches out, and the brown robe slips down, and revealing the creeping hair that's beginning to grow down his arm. And as he reaches out, the static electricity begins to build and gather around him. His hair sort of flicks up and strands begin to stand out on end as the electricity builds and crackles and shoots from his hand towards one of the nearby blueberries as he casts a witch bolt. And as the electricity releases, he sort of tenses and screams out, "Electric justice!"
Brilliant.
With an 11 to hit.
With an 11 to hit? Okay,
yes.
Perfect. So you watch as this lightning hits one of the spiders, because they do have a pretty low AC, and explodes in almost like a wave, a tidal wave upwards. Strangely, like having it be electrified made it burst up. You watch as this immediately arcs and drops onto Nook, dousing her in blue. However, as soon as you cast that, the two other blueberries seem to retract and scatter. Not, however, before they seem to grab one of the crew members. One of the boom operators drops the boom pole as he is launched from his legs and pulled into the array of nooks. Array of knickknacks, not nooks. That's going to confuse me. The array of knickknacks, and almost pulled under. You hear the distant screaming as these creatures retreat.
No! Get your hands off my best boy!
Not Craig, the boom guy.
Craig seems to be lost.
No,
to the blueberries.
Can I chase after him?
You can certainly try.
Sweet. I would like to do that. Pulling out my little flimsy ass sword and try to dive in after them and jab away to see if I can hit anything.
Perfect. I will say, roll me a strength check.
Oh, shit. That's okay. That's okay. 11.
11. Unfortunately, as you dive into the array of weird items, you actually find what looks to be a tunnel. You cannot get further into it. However, you can see that the base of it is laced in gold.
Oh, shiny!
These tunnels seem to be inlaid with melted metal.
I will crawl. I'll try to crawl my way into the tunnel if I can.
I wouldn't do that if I was you.
Well, who said that?
You see a naked blue man behind you.
I have a couple of questions. Why are you blue?
Why do you smell of eggs?
What? Why do you guys have pointy ears? We could all ask stupid questions.
I mean, I just haven't met very many blue people.
He's
like
blue.
Who's blue?
I'm blue.
You're blue.
If I was green, I would die.
Well, my point still stands. Why can't I go into the shiny tunnel of shiny?
Oh, I hate to point out the obvious, but the spidery things came from the tunnels?
But they took Craig.
Yeah, back to the mama spider. Wouldn't be going there anytime soon if I was you.
Can I try and take some of the shiny cave then?
Go ahead.
I have nothing. I think I've got like, not a pickaxe, but like, kittens I can try and use to just jab away at the walls.
I will definitely allow you to try. How long do you spend on this?
I have no idea. That is a great question.
All right. Depending on how high your strength check is,
okay,
I will tell you how long you're doing this for. What is everyone else doing?
Out with the crew eating beef Wellington while we wait for Nobby to dig out the gold.
Perfect. Well then, the crew seem to power down their cameras for a brief moment. They're all conversing with each other separately from you all. And as they are doing this, we're going to go for a very short pee break to allow the team to get some we're back. To recap slightly, in this final game of Jasper's Game Week Aussie Edition, we have 6 seemingly random people in a reality TV show called Demiplane Wars, where they have been sent into a demiplane to clear it out and appraise the items for their big boss, Mr. Cracker. In doing this, however, they have already faced some giant blueberry spider monsters and some other curious things, especially since magic seems to be acting a little strange in this space. One of our players is already a giant dinosaur-like creature, who I will say the second pair of arms are still your original arms, so it looks a bit weird. We also have a very hairy Alan as he slowly transforms from a Aasimar into a hairy Aasimar. We have a very happy Dratsab, almost spellbound into happiness. Nook is covered in blue sticky spider gunk. Nobby has a swollen tongue. And Bartholomew has seemingly invited a friend into the space, a blue naked man named Matt Brown. I think that's everything. Reminder that we also have a giveaway at the end of today with the Dice Keeper from Wooten Forge, so stick around for the next half of Chaos, and remember, you all have the influence to do whatever you want in this story. You can add monsters, you can add NPCs, you can give the players advantage, disadvantage, and nat 20. Yeah.
I'm sorry, AJ, I almost lost it when you said hairy ass, Emma.
It was all intentional. Okay, so very shortly after, now we don't see this because the cameras weren't rolling. The cameras start re-recording again. You are all huddled, and there is a very sad Nobby who was unable to scrape any gold out of this tiny tunnel that the spider escaped into. He is weeping with a giant swollen blue tongue.
Everybody.
I just wanted some gold.
It's all right, Nobby. It's all right, everybody. A few minutes ago, we were just a disparate group of randoms stuffed together, some of us into a single trench coat, some of us into a pocket dimension, some of us given training videos, and some of us not. But now, we're a party. We're a team. We've been through the furnace of battle together. And now we must carry on and get this Spider Queen, because that's what Mr. Crackers would want from all of us. Craig didn't die in vain. So Craig might not have died in vain. We must avenge his possible and not yet confirmed for legal purposes death. Together. Now this naked blue man, he has been sent here to guide us to the Spider Queen. Isn't that right, Matt Brown?
The camera cuts to a diary entry with Matt Brown. Yeah, look, I was hired to stay in the dimension and defeat any spiders that came running. I didn't think these idiots would come in and turn them into blueberries or something. That sounds really stupid, but this isn't my job description. Back to the main action. Oh yeah, let's kill the Spider Queen.
Yes.
I thought we were looking for shinies.
Well, exactly, Nobby. Exactly. And as smart as you are, you know that all of the best goodies are always hidden behind the biggest baddie in the whole dungeon. That's always the way this kind of thing works.
Can I ask, is the boom mic still on the ground, or have they packed it up already?
They seem to have passed it to the assistant.
Okay, while they're all talking, I'm going to slowly inch away and with my sticky hand, sort of just whip it out I'm really trying to one-up myself with how sneaky I can be. And I'm just going to take it. I'm just going to take it.
You're going to take the boom pole?
Yep. And I'm going to attempt to put it under my cloak. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay. Sleight of hand.
$11.
Okay. So not only are you trying to yank a seemingly large item out of the assistant's hand without her noticing, but you also tried to fit it into your cloak. Two things that are really not that possible. So with an 11, I will say that you start wrestling with the assistant for this boom pole as we continue on.
Because the crew knows I can speak, so I'm under my breath. I'm just like, fucking let it go. Do it.
Fine. Okay.
Just like,
she gives you the boom pole. It is not the only boom pole in the crew, as there are 3 cameras, but you have dismantled a part of the equipment, and you now are in possession of a recording device.
Dear diary. So I made my first steal. It was incredibly subtle, and I'm very proud of it. That's it.
You cut back to the main action. All of you are watching them wrestle with the boom pole.
Should we help her? Should we help the camera crew? I'm lost. Who do we help here?
No. I think we should just let this unfold. I think that's more entertaining.
Oh, okay.
Nook gets really angry if she thinks that anyone's seen what she's been doing. So don't let them know that you know that she's seen what she's doing. So
yeah, Nook, you can do it.
I don't think Nook wants us to break the fourth wall. It's clearly an interpretive dance routine to show that the crew representing this demiplane is against us, and this is a tussle between us and the demiplane as we wrestle the treasure.
Does that mean the crew is the final boss, does it?
Yes. And we must fight them.
Bubbles, what are you up to at this point in time?
Bubbles is deeply troubled by all of this. It was clear we had a simple mission to thieve stuff, not get caught and get out again. And now our new glorious technical leader has said we're off to find spiders. Maybe he missed that then skip. So he's looking to where the spiders came from to find this queen spider he wants to kill.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's looking for the tracks bit. So he kind of looks back at the party, can't quite work out what Nook's doing. Maybe it's an elven thing, doesn't really understand that culture. And then literally heads off to where the spiders came from.
Okay. I will say that you're able to notice that where the piles of things are, there are tunnels. And from your basic understanding of demiplanes, things don't usually get sorted into piles of specific categories. And you're getting a sneaking suspicion that perhaps these creatures have collected things to cover the entranceways to their hideout.
With that horrible sinking feeling that this isn't going to go well, he looks him at the party. Whatever Nobby's doing at this point in time, he just shields his eyes. It's just there. And he looks at the rest of it. The boss has made is making some sort of speech to the camera where he's kind of just stretched out. And the hair is growing in weird places around the back of his ears. So that's kind of weird. Bartholomew, is Bartholomew back invisible again? Or is still visible?
Yeah, he's visible.
Okay. So he goes up to the 2 goblins that aren't doing weird things themselves and says, "Look, gents, the new boss is going to get us all horribly killed. These creatures are coming out of mounds," and he's carefully keeping his back to the camera. "We find the smallest one of this and then tell the boss this isn't the Queen's lair, but we tell him it is the Queen's lair and we're going in. We kill a couple of the small ones and we run like hell out of here. Are we in?"
I don't even know why we're fighting the spiders. The boss said the crew's the final boss.
Nobby, take your fingers out of those orifices. They're not what you think they are.
But they're itchy.
Okay, go and stand next to the boss. He thinks.
Okay.
Go on, just roar at him. It's a thing. He understands it. It's cultural.
Oh, is it like a hairy people thing? Is it?
Find out together. And then looks at Bartholomew and Drabs and says, "Well, gents, what are we doing? I don't want to die in this one in front of this camera crew. In front of this camera crew."
I think that's a really good plan, and I really like it, and I'm really happy, and I'm really pleased. And let's do it.
Okay.
Nobby walks over.
I don't like this job. I don't want to do this job particularly. But I'm after a very specific thing here, and I can't get it. I can't get into these demi-planes without this job, so I do need to do it. I'm assuming the crew have their own return key, right? They wouldn't come in here expecting to be able to get out relying on us.
I'm pretty sure I saw the key up Nobby's nose.
It's up Nobby's nose. Is that where it went?
Yeah.
Oh, whoa. Maybe we just send in someone to scout it out, and if they run into trouble, they can just get out of there, and we can find the crews.
Up his nose?
Yes.
Oh, just size.
How bad can a spider be? We've got a naked man that's willing to fight them for us.
You look over to Matt Brown, who is inching away from the party as you're speaking and trying to subtly get into the pile of things once more.
I'm gonna go over and put a hand on his shoulder.
Oh, shit.
You're sort of like my son, because I've spawned you into the world.
Okay.
So you will accompany me on an adventure.
Is that a threat? Feels like a threat.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. Beans are an unorthodox weapon, but they're very effective, so you're going to come with us.
I collect beans.
That's all we need to know.
Nobby's going to walk up to Alan in front of the camera.
Hello, Nobby.
His tongue's so like swollen up that instead of a nice roar, he's just like at him.
Alan slaps Nobby straight across the face.
Perfect.
That's not Bubbles say you're supposed to know what that means.
Oh, that is a nat 20. Yeah.
That stings a lot. Roll your damage for me.
It's 1. As I slap Nobby across the face, the force of the blow forces the wind out of his nostrils as his throat, his mouth is blocked by the tongue, and the expelling air fires the coin out, and it skitters across the ground.
Brilliant.
Just somewhere it is gone.
Nobby, given that a nat 20 is a critical hit, you take double damage, which is 2 points of damage.
2 points, yes.
Causing you to bite down on your tongue. It excretes liquid like a tube of toothpaste as you return to a normal sized tongue. However, it is still blue. Your chin and chest, however, is coated in this similar sticky blue bile.
Ow. Thank you.
You're
just
welcome.
turns and walks off.
Blowing a raspberry is the highest form of insult in the Temple of Helm, I have to say. People don't usually thank me when I slap them all across the face, especially with this large, muscular, hairy hand that I now have.
I was trying to roar.
You were roaring?
Yes.
Are you the Dragonborn?
I guess I am now, yes.
Alan falls to his knees, prostrate before Nobby. Great Dragonborn. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to direct you with my obviously stirring speech. He looks at the camera. It's good, wasn't it? But obviously, I'm at your command, O mighty one.
I mean, it's about damn time somebody would show me some respect around here. He just walks off.
Perfect. Do you all follow Nobby further into the demiplane?
Yep.
Okay. You spend the better part of an hour coursing through these different alleyways and almost man-made streets with these piles. Eventually, the floor stops being trampoline-esque. And you make your way into these floors that almost have these cracks and crevices to them. You peer down them, they are deep black holes, as if the floor itself has started to open up and leads into absolutely nothing. Being careful of these small cracks and spaces around you, you continue to make your way into the center of the demiplane, or at least what you assume is the center of the demiplane. What is your intention?
Well, as I walk along, I'm twirling the coin that I picked up as I was prostrate.
Yep.
Not a hairy ass prostrate, yes, a prostrate on the ground. I pick up I'm twirling the coin. I'm a little distracted. I'm like, now was it stay close to the edges, or was it stay away from the edges? As I slip off the edge of one of these cracks.
You watch as your leader falls down a crevice.
I did tell him not to go near the edges.
I regret nothing.
Bye.
Nobby, look at Nobby, sigh, and then run towards the only person with our way out of here, because he's still got the coin, and look over the edge. What do we see?
You see complete darkness. However, you can still hear Alan just screaming out into the void.
I've fallen. Please, somebody help me.
Yeah. Bartholomew, do you have anything?
I don't think I'm very far away.
I've got a rope.
I've got some rope and some pittance.
Maybe 30 or 40 feet.
Are you suggesting we tie Nobby to a rope and dangle him like a fish?
Wait, why me?
You're a dragon.
Your diary.
Yeah.
Your diary, go for it.
That wasn't what I was suggesting, but it was a much, much better idea. Yes, we should do that.
Dear diary. And it's just Nobby with this massive, swollen blue face and a black eye. That was a horrible idea.
We cut back to the main action as you begin to lower Nobby into the crack in the floor. You watch as his goblin body sinks below a blackish inky veil. For you, Alan, you seem to still be falling, but then you see Nobby, eye level to you, Mission Impossible style, tied to a rope. Enter into your falling space.
Oh, Nobby, you fell also.
I mean, not so much fallen as thrown, but
Falling
you can
buddies.
You should probably grab onto me. I don't know how much rope we've got.
No, you're right. This is exactly the right time for a hug, and I need it. And I reach out and hug Nobby very tightly.
As you reach out in this almost strangely atmosphered space where gravity doesn't really make any sense. You grab onto Nobby. The moment you do, the gravity shifts and the two of you swing into one of the walls on the side.
Oof.
Nobby, you go face first into the cliff wall. But as you do so, the sound of bees fills your face.
I'm allergic to bees.
As small creatures start to scuttle out and blow kisses at you. They seem to like nuzzle up against your face. They aren't bees. They just buzz in a weird fashion. You cannot see them very clearly, but they look winged in some way. And I would like you to know, since someone has gifted you a wild magic surge, that you are now gifted with the power of flight.
Oh, thank you so much.
However, you are still swollen from smacking your face against the wall. And you are able to drift both yourself and Alan back out of the crevice in the floor. The two of you hit solid ground once more. As Nook, what are you doing?
Again, I'm just sort of watching. I'm really trying to not help whatsoever. I'm a very not helpful person in this case. I am... Does Bubbles wear a hat in-game?
Yes.
I'm trying to steal Bubbles' hat.
Go for
I'm
it.
trying to subtly... okay, I'm pretending I'm helping. And I'm just trying to reach and just take Bubbles' hat without him noticing.
All right. Firstly, describe to me how you're pretending to help.
All right.
And then secondly, roll me a sleight of hand.
I've stayed slightly towards the back, just making the motions as I'm helping. I take out my boom pole and I make it sticky on the end. I just stick it on, and then I begin to just extend the pole. I extend it and I try and bat the top of the hat without knocking it too far. Don't want him to notice. And just try and get the sticky stuff on the hat because it's very sticky. And I'm trying to just take it and then I'm going to retract the pole and then just put it back in my cloak. That's how I plan on doing it.
Okay. All while pretending to help with the rope pull.
I'm trying to be very
multitasking. Love it.
Yeah,
Roll
always.
a sleight of hand for me.
Yep. 16.
16.
It's my passive.
As you lift the hat off of Bubbles' head, something very interesting happens. Tiny fireworks set off. Perhaps a trap that Bubble had placed long ago backfires. It ricochets off of the boom pole, which courses up through your hands, causing you to sound like a radio host for the rest of this session.
Okay.
Before I forget, we also have 2 wild magic surges for Clint from earlier. Is this now 4 or is this still 2? I want to clarify because 2, I don't know if it's 4 or 2. Either way, for yourself, Dratsab, what are you currently doing?
I'm going like Dear Diary, and I'm going like, if you look, like, see what I mean about Nook, but don't let her know that you're watching because she gets really, really angry, and you don't want to get on her bad side. But what no one else knows is the boss has told me at the end to make sure that Bubbles checks them all to see if they've stolen stuff. So Nook doesn't know that just yet. telling you just now.
As you complete your diary entry, we go back to the main action. Are you assisting with the rope pull?
Yeah, I'm leaning over and I'm just like, bit to the left, right. Yep, no, he's got him. Pull it up. And I start helping them pull up.
Perfect. As you do so, you pull up the two gentlemen. I use that term loosely. And you find yourself face to face with a giant blue-faced Nobby. You also see a small creature emerge from the back of his head, almost fey-like. And this creature immediately takes a shining to you. They may have blessed Nobby, but you seem to be this creature's fascination. It flitters over to you immediately and begins to crawl into your mouth. As it does so, it snuggles up next to your tongue, and you feel yourself transforming into an elephant. Not only that, since you were gifted with 2 wild magic surges, you also have tap shoes on. You are now a tap dancing elephant. You all see this happen, by the way, as you save your friends and look back to find a tap dancing elephant.
I'm just gonna give this space. I'm gonna take several steps back and just let this happen. Crew, you're getting this, right? You see what we put up with? This is why we tried to unionize and they didn't let us. Shit like this happens all the time.
They are furiously making notes, and the producer looks incredibly happy towards your commentary.
This wasn't covered in the instruction manual. Oh shit.
You watch amazed for a brief moment with this tap dancing elephant as he makes a bit of a hurrah, a bit of a tap dancing show, so to speak. And you all feel very refreshed. Take a little bit of a short rest for yourselves and heal up if need to. But at the same time, this sense washes over you. Since we've been gifted a wild magic surge for my choice to do as I wish with, I'm going to say that all of you begin to feel incredibly hungry. And seemingly, your friends look delicious. As we continue on finding this Spider Queen, I want you to all know that you have an urge to nibble on your friends.
Dear diary.
Go ahead.
I've never seen an elephant before, and I can only assume it's really good with barbecue sauce. Yeah. And he just starts taking out like a little Swiss Army knife with like forks and knives.
Brilliant. It cuts back to the main action. One of the cameras zooms in on the tap dancing elephant as you continue moving through the space, avoiding the cracks in the floor, and the elephant always keeping a really good beat as you go.
And up next, we have a segment called Dear Diary. It appears as though now I have begun to speak what I can only describe as something somewhat of a Triple J presenter, as that's the only radio I listen to. And And this elephant is absolutely just tapping out. It's tapping out an absolute tuna fish. Speaking of, I could go for a tuna fish, 100%. Yeah, bro. It's like really, I'm like real hungry right now. Yeah. So anyway, back to the action. I might eat someone.
Bubbles is standing rather confused at this point in time, and you can just see him shout off camera, "I'm sure it's an elephant." And then feels his head's a bit cold, and he reaches into a bag, pulls out kind of this flat object, punches it, puts on a top hat.
Dear diary. Fuck. And that's what I like to call shit. Back to you guys.
So, a lot of chaotic things going on, but the intention is to still go find the Spider Queen. Am I correct? All right. You make your way through a few more different piles of objects. With your knowledge, you do see a couple of different things that you find very interesting. On one side of you is a rack of healing potions. On the other side are those bouncy balls that you get when you're a kid, where you hold on with handles and you can like bounce up and down. Those two objects line a hallway, and ahead of you, what looks like a spider's web.
So Nobby, being able to fly, grabs one of the space balls and just starts bouncing everywhere off all the walls.
Brilliant. Since there are no walls, you continue to smack against both the shelf of bounce balls and the shelf of potions, knocking some superior and greater healing potions onto the floor.
Yes. Nobby, it's a sign. It's a sign from the Lord Helm. He has bestowed on us this gift of this bouncy space balls to get us to our destination faster. And not only that, we can eschew these healing potions, for he has gifted us with his light. And through his glory, I can heal all of you. So pass by those potions. Take one of these pamphlets that I have. I've got enough for everybody. And let us spaceball onwards to the Spider Queen.
You want a space ball?
Yeah, the space. You called it a spaceball, Lord Dragon Lord Nobby Knobs.
Yes. Yes, they are balls of space that allow you to fly. You just really got to believe in the ball letting you fly.
So wise. So this completely hirsute ASMR straddles a space ball and just wills himself to fly as he bounces off the ground. Do I fly?
You do not.
No.
Please roll me an acrobatics check.
Oh no! I'm fully committed to the flying. So you know, I've leapt up. No concern for my own
skill
personal.
whatsoever.
No. Totally overblown it. And smash just face first into the ground.
You do as such, yeah. You also find your face falling into spiderweb, and it smells like butterscotch.
Ooh. Didn't expect this to be so delicious, and it's sticking to my fur, but I'm so hungry, and and I just start pulling the spiderweb off my fur down into my mouth.
Perfect. It is tasty.
It's actually tasty, everybody. You got to get some of this. I'm really hangry at the moment, and it's a perfect snack opportunity.
Bubbles takes this moment to look back at Nook, kind of gestures at her, and then says to no one in particular, "Is no one going to talk about the elephant in the room?"
Man, it looks tasty, doesn't it?
Dear diary. As he's saying this, the camera pans across to Dratzab, and he's there with stop tap dancing. He's grabbed one of these balls and he's trying to wiggle it in underneath himself, and he finally sits on it and it just pops, and he just sits there and looks up and sees the camera on him and gets really embarrassed.
Aww. I've never seen an embarrassed elephant before, but my heart goes out to him. So, for yourself, Alan, it tastes like if you took nougat and stretched it into thread. You begin to consume the ones that is on your face and the ones that are on the floor. And as you do such, you reveal eggs under the surface of this layer of spiderweb.
Handy eggs?
Maybe. Why don't you try them?
I just bite into one.
Perfect. Roll a strength check.
Yes, I will roll a strength check, being one of my best. Oh my god, a 17.
17. Okay, interesting. You crunch into the shell. Tasty shell indeed, like melted and refined white chocolate. However, inside the egg is something very interesting that I'm going to let whoever donates a new item and or NPC create. However, I'm going to say that you are preoccupied for a good minute as you interact with whatever is inside of this egg. The rest of you, are you still walking ahead? Are you observing what's happening with this egg? What are you planning to do?
I'm curious at what Matt Brown's doing while he's doing this to the egg.
Matt Brown seems to be reading through the pamphlet that was offered by Alan. Oh, this is very interesting. A lot of really cool stuff in here. Help me. Really cool.
Dear diary, I didn't mean to take a bite out of Nook, but everyone just looked so tasty, I couldn't help myself. I'd like to roll stealth.
Go for it. What did you roll?
I rolled a 3 for a 13.
Perfect. With a 13, I'm pretty sure that Nook notices you trying to bite into her.
Yeah, I'm fully committed into just trying to attempt to sneak up and just take a bite.
Okay.
Whereabouts do you bite me or attempt to bite me?
I'm thinking I'm going for the arm.
All right, so I feel this like residual heat of just someone really bulbous like next to me, and like I look over, and this is the first thing I ever say that everyone's hearing in my radio voice. 1940 spark plug ad radio voice. Hey now, what are you doing? Get off my arm now.
He just doesn't. He doesn't say a word. He just goes for the bite.
And does he take a chunk out of me at all?
No.
Okay.
I will say
any indentations?
Indentations, definitely a good solid attempt at eating you.
Yeah. I begin to... Now listen here, that's not nice whatsoever. You cannot just be going up to people and biting them. It's just not a thing at all. This radio presenter is now a witch, I've decided. And it's like... And then I realize I'm speaking in this ridiculous voice. And I look around at everyone.
The camera zooms in on you.
I look at Jed in the eyes.
And now I've come to realize I am a fortune teller radio presenter now. That people are going to think that that's what I sound like naturally. And that concerns me because it doesn't sound very serious.
Yeah, diary. Yeah, look, if I sounded like that too, I probably wouldn't say anything. But props to her, I guess.
Absolutely brilliant. I can also see that we have got to 77777 in the donations, and that is absolutely freaking incredible. I believe we have an item donated. If anyone wants to let us know what that item is, then I don't know who donated it and I don't know what the item is, but we will figure that out in just a second. This is brilliant. And thank you so much for all these donations. It's going to an incredible cause, not only just to turn this game into absolute chaos, but also for Jasper's Game Day, an incredible charity supporting mental health awareness and suicide prevention, something near and dear to my heart. So thank you. Let's keep it going because this story isn't over yet. And I am fascinated to see how and what happens to this crew. So, Alan, as you bite down on the egg, tasting like chocolate, inside you see a rolled up piece of fabric. Tightly wound like a Marie Kondo video.
I take out this very tightly wound piece of cloth, and is it tied up with a bow or?
It's almost tied by itself. So the fabric is tucked into itself.
I untuck it and roll it out. What does it look like?
It is a fabulous cloak.
Perfect. I throw it over my shoulders and do a spin. What do you think, everybody?
As you do so, you have a bit of a Marilyn Monroe moment.
Ooh. Dear diary.
Cloak. Go for it. I will leave the description to after.
Now, I've decided that I am going to take that cloak. That's the next thing I'm going to steal.
I love how this accent is changing every time. It's great. This Marilyn Monroe style cloak is almost a glittery blue, like the starry night sky. And it moves with you, almost akin to your body, as if it knows you intimately.
Ooh, dear diary. I didn't know that I wanted something like this so much, but it seems the spider gods really love me. Is it possible that killing the spider queen is wrong? No, winning is all that matters.
It's at this point, Bubbles nudges Bartholomew in a sense of desperation and says, look, the boss looks good enough to eat, but if we can find your thing, can we get the hell out of here? Your thing.
Yes, if we find my thing, I'm very happy to leave because we've stumbled into Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. And this Kinder Egg surprises that have clothes in them. This isn't a particularly bad thing. It's just strange. And eventually, one of us will die. I know that much.
Do you continue on through the egg field?
Come on, everybody. It can't be much further, and now we've got these hoppy things to take us along. Boing, boing. Follow the blue shimmer.
Let me try something first. I want to see if I can speed up this process.
Mm-hmm.
Bartholomew's going to go to the edge of the egg field with all of these eggs. And he's going to cast Thunderwave and try to hit as many as possible.
Brilliant. Go for it.
Cast Thunderwave, try to pop as many. It's a 15-foot cube.
Okay, so you aim for the first 15 feet facing outward?
Mm-hmm.
Not including the people behind you?
No. I'm not trying to hurt anyone. I'm trying
to check.
Yep.
Okay. As you send out this booming thunderclap, you feel deja vu as this sound ricochets through the demiplane, similarly to how the whistle had previously. You watch as row after row of these eggs are not only revealed as the nougat lacing spiderweb seems to blow off of the field of eggs gracefully, like a bowing, curtsied lady from the 1800s. These eggs smash one after another, row after row, the entire 15 feet. Not every egg holds a cloak. In fact, you watch as the collection of prized possessions held by the previous adventuring party come to light ahead of you. You see glowing wands, small bits of fabric that seem to be like patches from a previous cloak. You see a small creature emerge from one of the eggs with 5 heads, like a hydra, only a baby. In one of them, you see a sword hilt. Not the entire sword, as it might be plunged into the rest of the ground, but a very priceless sword hilt, including a few other things if you want to go exploring through this recently revealed egg field. What would you like to do?
Who's got the company loot satchel? We just pick this up, right? We grab as we go. I'll pop a couple more, and if anyone, I will reiterate, if anyone sees a planar gyroscope, just let me know. Just let me know. I'll give you money.
Bubbles, didn't you have the company mandated sack in your hands?
Bubbles has pulled out the sack and bubble wrap and just start rather kind of annoyedly just picking things up and wrapping them up and then kind of shoving them in the sack.
Perfect.
Bobby goes straight for the sword hilt. He wants that shiny sword.
Brilliant. You pull it out of the egg, and you are faced with a giant greatsword. It is pristine. There are no scratches. There is no rust. The entire thing shines with this beautiful magic light. And as it does, since I've been gifted another wild magic surge,
Oh, no.
you feel an instant connection to the sword. This sword is your wife. You have made a marriage bond by choosing this sword, and you watch as the glittering ruby that sits on the hilt blinks up at you. Hello, my husband. It is so lovely to have you.
Hi. Hey guys, I think I just got married.
No one says
Happy-
a thing. Everyone is staring at you. They can't hear the sword.
Someone just said happy knife, happy wife.
We should
I should probably ask my new wife what her name is. Do you have a, hi, who are you?
Hi, my name is Olga.
Hi, Olga. Are you just a great sword?
Yeah, I destroy villainous beasts and consume their blood.
Oh, that's very good. I like that. Drinking blood is probably my second favorite pastime, so we'll probably get along very well.
We already have things in common.
Yay. You might be a little bit... I don't really go well with great swords, but I will make an exception for you.
How romantic.
Alan, I know that we don't get medical with this job, right? But I'm wondering, because Nobby here needs help. I think he has cracked. Do we get maybe 5 free counseling sessions or something like that, you know?
Well, look, I'm really glad you asked, actually, because The Temple of Helm provides a wide arrangement of services to support those in need. And I have a pamphlet just for this. Let me take a young Nobby aside and we can have a wee chat. Perhaps we can go frolicking amongst the egg fields on our bouncy balls.
Oh, don't do that. I'm going to blow them up in a second. I'm going to blow up more. But he is cracked. His brain is mush now. From this one job.
Yeah, yes. Not much now. It wasn't before. No. I wouldn't say that about the Lord Dragon Lord Nobby Knobs.
I would actually.
But
he still needs help. He still definitely needs help. If you could provide that for him.
Nobby.
Yes.
Nobby. Would you introduce me to your nod to chat, lovely lady that you've met?
Yes. This is Olga. She's my wife. We're thinking about raising 3 daggers together. It'll be quite lovely.
That's just beautiful. I'm just so happy for you, Nobby. And Alan just reaches out really super awkwardly and touches Nobby's face and casts a heal.
Oh,
Brilliant.
Thank you.
As you do such, since I've been gifted another wild magic
Oh no.
for my choice, you watch as something very strange crawls out of the sword egg following Olga.
Olga, you never told me you had children.
Oh, no. Billy, you weren't meant to follow me. Another sword, almost identical, but with a black gemstone, lifts itself out and aims right at you, Alan.
Look out, Nobby. It's Olga's toxic ex-boyfriend.
Olga, I think Is this your ex-boyfriend now?
Yes, it is.
I don't know how to approach this situation. It wasn't covered in the manual.
You need to fight him. Fight him for my love, Nobby.
Very well. My sword says I need to fight him. I believe that's her toxic ex-boyfriend.
Go with Helm's blessing. I cast Bless on Nobby, and golden light shimmers down my hirsute arm and surrounds Nobby.
You watch as from the hilt of this animated sword, a body starts to materialize, inky black in nature. As soon as it's fully formed, it solidifies into a very handsome half-elf. He stands, pointing the blade at you, Nobby.
Oh shit, her ex is hotter than me. That's never a good sign.
Yeah, he's super hot, Nobby.
I will fight you for her honor, and you shall die.
How about Dee? And I'll go for a lunge.
Go for it.
Now, I don't think I'm proficient with martial weapons, and it's a heavy two-hander. Do I need to roll with disadvantage for that? I'm not sure what the rules are.
No, you do not. Olga seems to be helping you.
Oh, really?
And we've also reached $8,000. Thank you so much, everyone. That's incredible.
Go chat. Wow.
I'm loving this. 9 wild magic on Chris's hat.
Holy crap.
Okay. Give me a moment. Nobby. Rapid fire. I'm going to roll contention rolls with you. We're going to do 3, like rock, paper, scissors. The
Right.
best out of 3 rolls will defeat the other person.
Yep,
Are you ready? D20 in
I'm
hand.
ready.
Okay,
D20 in hand.
let's go.
Go.
First roll.
7.
I got a 13. The inky black half-elf slashes away Olga and faces off with you with a smoldering stare. Go for roll number 2.
I've gotten a 14.
That's higher. You take back the power. You knock the half-elf to the ground. Olga poised at his throat. Final roll. Nat 20? I rolled a nat 1.
Oh,
The power of having a wife surges through you, giving you all the hero feeling that you could ever desire. As you, Nobby, a goblin, you plunge Olga straight into the neck of this elf. However, a very strange laugh manifests from both swords. The elf
that's not good.
disintegrates into nothing, and Olga pulls in the energy, combining herself with the second sword. You now have an even larger sword than before, hell-bent on destroying almost everything around you. As you do so, however, we turn to Bubbles. Okay. 9 wild magic surges on 1 hat.
If I may, AJ.
Go for it.
Perhaps noticing that something weird all of a sudden seems to be happening with Bubbles. He looks really uncomfortable. Standing there as the elephant he is, just lightly tapping away. Channels his inner god and thinks, please, please, Bane, shower my friend with moonlight. And a massive moonbeam covers Bubbles. Dretup gets up, dances, dancing away, and all of a sudden, Bane, reveal yourself! And motions to Bubbles, longingly.
As though the song Dancing in the Moonlight kicks up out of nowhere. Bubbles, you have the urge to dance with the tap dancing elephant. And suddenly, from your hat, which seems to enjoy the dancing, a new cloak manifests itself across your body, turning into a tuxedo. Thirdly, you find yourself returning to your normal size, and what used to be your goblin self is now a very striking halfling.
You.
Fourthly, you now have ice skates. Don't know if they will work in the current climate, but to match your perfect tuxedo, you have a glittering pair of ice skates on your feet. Number 5, your eyes begin to glow, and everything around you that is magical emanates permanently. 6, you find internally something shifts as your intelligence score goes up by 2 points. You fling out your hands in your dance moves, and 7, you turn your friend Nook into a talking sheep. As you build a barnyard of animal friends in weird shoe wear, the sheep also seems to be wearing clogs. You now have the tippity-tap of tap shoes and the strong beat of clogs matching with almost this smooth sound that your ice skates are making. And finally, with the 9th magic surge, a small portal opens up before you. And out from the portal steps 6 mounts, glorious white horses with silver bells. And you, in your tuxedo and ice skates, are their ringleader. You all watch this chaos ensue out of absolute nowhere before hearing the scuttling once more of spider creatures after being called from the booming thunderclap from Bartholomew. You have 6 horses and an elephant and a particular direction to go in. What, pray tell, do you do?
Bubbles turns to the group and says, "Look, folks, you know, I was applying for other shows too. Well, I think my bachelor in Goblin Hell has just come through. Look at this."
You look incredible.
So, you know, let's just get the hell out of here and get this spider and get the spider. And then just starts pushing the elephant. So jumps onto a horse.
Okay.
With my ice skates.
Yep.
And my cloak. And the bag of all the stuff I've been collecting. And then looks at the rest of the party.
Let's go.
Nobby, with this newfound bloodlust that he's gained from this strange kind of polyamory marriage he's just been slung into without knowing, doesn't say a word, just starts walking towards the party menacingly.
Wonderful.
Come on, Nobby, that's the way. Jump on a horse. Looks a bit concerned, doesn't he?
The 2 swords speak to you. Did he say a giant spider? Oh, lovely. You must defeat the spider for me. That would be a brilliant meal. The second voice chimes in. I agree with my wife, and now you, my husband. The spider sounds like the perfect ticket. Grow. Perhaps bring another into the fold.
I think I've got enough husbands and wife, but I will eat the spider.
What are the rest of you doing?
I look at the rest of the party. We're on the ride. We may as well. We gotta finish it, right? Right. We gotta get to the spider and sort this out.
Yes. Let's do it, Bartholomew. Let's ride off into the sunset towards the Spider Queen. Friends together.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think that's the most I've ever heard you say, Nook, and it touched me deeply.
I think I was really trying to have this mask on. I found peace as a sheep in my little shoes. But do I get to go on a horse too?
Yes. Speaking of, Alan picks you up. You 2 share a horse. The rest of the film crew are able to take the 6th horse and the elephant as you all charge off, avoiding the skittering that's coming from behind you, moving past the egg field and into the main entrance to the spider's den.
Dear diary. So, this is me. Just
with your clogs.
With my clogs. So, new tactic, as I'm a sheep now. think that I'm letting my guard down, but I'm still going to keep stealing shit because I take what's given and I also take what's not given. And that's how it's going to be, no matter if I'm a sheep or not. Dun, dun, dun.
I love it. Able to add in your line from earlier. You emerge into the spider's den. You do not see anything to start with, when suddenly this great beast drops from the ceiling of web. A creature made of inky black ooze and bone, the face of which, covered in thousands of eyes, turns to face you all. Roll initiative.
Yay.
For the sheep and the elephant, I will say that if you create some sort of creative way to attack, I will yes and you.
Well, I rolled a 21.
21, perfect. Anyone higher than Nook? Okay, anyone lower than Nook?
Yeah, me. I got a 15.
15. Anyone higher than 15? Nope. All right.
13.
Nobby, 13 for
Alan.
Alan.
12 for Bartholomew.
12 Bartholomew. About Bubbles and the tap dancing elephant. 9? I read your lips.
6.
6, close.
And 10 for Bubbles.
10 for Bubbles. Okay, perfect.
So if I got married, does that mean I get that +2 to my AC that you get?
Sure. I'll allow it. You have 2 significant others now that are helping you fight. So, you all face off against this giant spider queen who you've decided that defeating will be the way that you succeed in your mission. The camera crew stay a little bit further back from this scene, and you go into a round of combat. Now, I will say, with 10 minutes remaining of this show, do all that you can. And I will allow absolute chaos to ensue.
Let's fucking go, all right?
Yes. When you are ready, Nook,
Okay.
as a sheep with clogs.
As a sheep with clogs, do I still have my items on me or did they drop off me?
They dropped off you.
Okay, that can work.
Well, they went into you. Dimensions.
It went into me, into my fleece.
They, like, you know when werewolves in like adult like books, you just like everything that you're wearing is somehow magically
Just disappeared.
It will reappear if you become yourself again.
Okay.
Weird.
So, how far away am I from enemy?
20 feet.
20 feet? How far can a sheep dash? And I don't have rogue stats, do I? I've got sheep stats.
No, got sheep stats. I will say you can definitely get towards, like, you can get 20 feet.
All right. I am going to dash forward and I'm going to scream, "Fleece means war!" And I just run. head first. I'm going to
Head first at the spider. Perfect. Roll a headbutt attack for me.
Yes. Is that just a nat 20?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah, go 20. See what happens.
God. Wait. 17.
17. Nice.
Oh, I got a 1. Cool.
You headbutt the spider, one of the spider's legs. You watch and hear as it goes, and part of the bone falls off. You are now attached to the bone leg as it is sticky black ooze. So from here on out, you have a sharp lance attached to the top of your sheep form.
Fuck yeah, great.
Cool. Nobby, you are up.
Unlike the normal sort of quick and sneaky Nobby that you're used to, Nobby just starts raging and charging at it, swinging this gigantic sword,
Perfect.
almost like a barbarian. So we'll roll for an attack. 14.
14 hits.
Yeah,
Go
I
for
rolled a
it.
stupid amount of dice now for this. That is going to be 17 points of hacky, stabby, slashy.
Perfect. You slice down the center of the spider underneath it as it's taller than you, and you watch as its insides spill onto you and the floor. You feel dizzy and a little nauseous from this, however. So from here on out, you're going to be rolling a little bit at disadvantage. So next up is actually the spider. And it's going to launch its torso at you, Nobby, trying to fling you back towards the rest of the group. So I'd like you to roll a dexterity saving throw at disadvantage now that you are nauseous.
Dex saving throw, that's all right. I'm good at them. Not that good. That is a 10.
Unfortunately, you get knocked completely off your feet, your sword swinging and launching into one of the cave walls of the spider's den, and yourself flying back into the rest of your party. Alan, you are up.
Alan, the radiant soul bursts from within him. Glowing light shines from his pores and lights up the hair that covers his body as it crackling electricity courses all over him. The hair all across him stands on end as golden wings burst from his back, and he flaps up into the air. The camera crew behind the set shot, all you can see is Alan floating up and the billowing cloak lifting up. So all you can see is the bare legs and bare butt cheeks at the top of the frame.
Perfect.
Electricity swirling around him. He casts, uses his sorcery to twin spell 2 level 3 witch bolts straight at the spider.
Go for it.
Okay. So first one is a 15 to hit.
Hits.
And the second one is a 16.
Both hit.
So we have 12 and 21. So 33 plus 5, 38 points of damage.
Brilliant. You watch as these witch bolts, one after another, hit into the face of this creature. Your golden wings and bare ass perfectly timed with the shot of this camera as the lightning sparks out, and so does black ooze, covering you all in head to toe ichor. However, you have caused significant damage to this spider queen, and you watch and hear from behind you as the crew become attacked by the smaller versions of this creature too. You are hearing screams behind you, but the camera is still rolling on all of you. Bartholomew, it is your turn.
Bartholomew will take out all those little magical knickknacks that he got from scavenging earlier on.
Okay.
And could I theoretically cast heat metal on all of these and make the magic extremely unstable?
You could, yes.
And I've got a thing called a lightning launcher. Could I just jam this in there and use that?
I will allow it.
I would like to do that then.
Okay. So you are heating metal and attaching a lightning mechanism to it and launching it at the Spider Queen?
I've got like a lightning, it's called a light. I'm assuming it's like a projectile weapon on my power armor.
Sure.
Just making these magical items unstable and launching them like a shrapnel launcher at this spider.
Absolutely brilliant. All right, roll me an attack.
23.
The shrapnel lunges into the skin and flesh of this creature, already badly damaged. Imaged? What am I saying? You watch it melt into the oozy flesh of this creature, dripping ichor into the space. You are now all in like a 20-centimeter pool of ichor as you move through. Roll your damage for me.
What damage would that be?
Lightning?
Okay.
5. Okay. The crackle of energy courses down the bony body of this spider queen. Bubbles, you are up.
Okay. Seeing the dire straits we're in and the desperate lack of time, Bubbles urges Matt Brown, naked on his white charger, to rush in and aid us as well at the same time.
Oh, jeez.
Do it for us, Matt. Do it for us, Matt. The people want you. And you see the extra arms help Bubbles catapult himself up, and he cartwheels through. You see the 2 ice skates skimming through the air and making multiple attacks.
Okay.
On the Spider Queen.
Go for it. I will say that definitely hits. But roll your damage of your ice skates.
Sure, because that's a D&D thing.
Yeah, roll your ice skate damage.
I'm looking forward to that in your next world building tutorial.
Mm-hmm.
So the attacks go. Boom, boom. And I will use a key point as well. So in total, that is 21 points of damage from the multiple attacks.
Nice.
And because it's all or nothing, he's going to use the monk ability to paralyze the creature. So you need to make 3 saving throws, please, against a DC of 15, or be paralyzed by this, I don't know, Disney on Ice show that's now come to you.
All 3 of those were under 15.
You are now just paralyzed by the bling and sheer mastery of Matt Brown charging towards you.
Matt Brown charging towards me on a white horse, naked and blue, as Bubbles, the tuxedo-wearing, top hat-wearing goblin, ice skates a spider queen in the face. You launch your ice skates across her eyes, embedding into her. You are able to 3-point landing as her head hits the ground, paralyzed. And to finalize this attack, we have a tap dancing element.
My main concern is the camera crew now, because I feel like all of this ooze and ichor is going everywhere. So myself as an elephant is like, I will sit down as hard as I can, causing the ooze to spread out away from me and the camera crew. And I will pray to my God silently in this dome of Lehman's tiny hut encapsulates the camera crew, allowing them to see out clearly, but it's just a fuzzy window looking in. And the camera crew is now safe.
Roll a wisdom, just a straight wisdom for me.
Yep. That's a 24.
24. Okay. You are able to completely eradicate the ooze from the area that you're in. You watch as it almost tidal waves out in every direction, very cleverly. It covers the camera crew outside as the film cuts to black. A small bit of text comes up on the screen. And that is why you need to be very careful when using a demiplane. The lights turn on in the room as a bunch of students from a magical academy sit there watching the documentary piece that was made almost 100 years ago when an adventuring party went into a demiplane that was abandoned. This is now used as a learning experience. The legend of the 6 of you was brought back. You did survive, However, the business of Mr. Crackers was definitely shut down after this occurrence. And from then on, demi-planes and pocket dimensions were the sole responsibility of those who created them or bought them. By law. And that is where we will end tonight's show.
Yay.
And conclude Jasper's Game Week.
Yay.
Thank you so much to everyone in chat for getting over $8,000. That is absolutely insane. This has been so much fun and so much chaos. I am unbelievably proud of you guys. So to wrap us up, let's go around the circle and say where people can go find you and your awesome selves, starting with Nikolai.
Hello, hi, I'm Nikolai. You can find me occasionally guest playing over at Winter's Tales, and that's about it.
Perfect. Andrea.
Hello, you can also find me guest playing at Winter's Tales, and you can find me on Instagram at and.ria.may. And also, if you want me to take your photos, if you're based in Perth, I'm at Made For You, and Made is spelled M-A-E-D. And someone can spell that somewhere, or just follow me on regular Insta and you'll see it there. Thank you.
Awesome. Greg.
Yes, I've been Greg. I'm from Dice Paper Roll. That's Roll, R-O-L-E. You can find us at Dice Paper Roll on all of the socials. We have a live show coming up in Melbourne, Comedy Republic, 4th of June, and one every month after that. Just check out our feed for all the details. Thanks for having me.
It was a pleasure. DeeTwenty.
AJ, thank you so much for running. I'm not quite sure what this turned out to be, but it was incredible all the way through. It went from drama, comedy to, I don't know, something on ice. So it was amazing Disney things. So this amazing cast of people that came through to make this happen. Everybody in chat, Soren, who's behind the scenes and making this go through, Sarah and John, all the other team at Ardent as well. You've all been amazing. Back to you, AJ.
Thank you so much. Clint.
Yeah, hi, I'm Clint, the community manager at Ardent Roleplay. I want to send out great big thank yous to you and the cast for this wonderful game. Thank yous to Soren and Ty, who have been with me producing the games all through the week. Sarah and John at Meeples and Dragons. My bosses, Rolf and Aaron, thank you so much. If you don't know about Ardent Roleplay, all the information about us is down below. Come and check us out. And if you would like to play more games, hit us up. Thank you very much.
And finally, Doug.
Hi, yes, I'm Doug. I'm from Nobody Wake the Bugbear. You can find us at NWTB or on Twitter at NWT Bugbear. Thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun. Pure chaos. I loved every second of it.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, and thanks so much to chat as well for all of those wild magic rolls. The 9 on Chris's hat alone is what pushed us over the 8K mark, and we actually have raised more than we did last year, which is incredible. Last year we raised $6,100, so this year is almost $2,000 more. That is incredible. Thank you so much. I have been AJ Winters. I am the content creator and DM at Winter's Tales. You can find Winter's Tales on Twitch and YouTube, or you can find all of us on the socials at Winter's Tales Co. We've got a campaign launching in July. If you like this DMing style, stay tuned. But thank you so much for joining us for today. I believe we're going on to a message and chat with the organizers, so please stick around for that. And this has been so great. I don't even know what to say. It's been amazing. Thank you. Mwah.
Yay.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.